A live look at the White House, which is open for business. A press briefing is going to happen this afternoon. A lot of work still happening at the White House, despite the fact that the federal government is shut down at the moment, thanks to what Republicans are calling the Schumer Shutdown. It's our big story of the day, and we'll, of course, be talking about that throughout the day. But first, we want to take you to Wall Street for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It is set to ring here in just a few minutes. I can tell you that the indices are in the red at the moment in pre-market trading. But again, we'll take you to Wall Street for the opening bell and see if there is a change here in just a few. First, let's get you over to David Brody. David, good morning.
Good morning, T. Bates. All right, time now for our daily dose of dollars and common sense. We have American Sunrise Early Edition host, the guy behind Jake's Takes Substack. That would be Jake Novak. Jake, why don't we just get this out of the way first? Can we just talk about the Jets? I know we're a day or two late on this, but would you like to give us your analysis? Remember, Jake's a longtime suffering Jet fan, just like me. Go ahead.
If the Jets were in stock, sell. No, yeah, absolutely trade the Jets down if they were a stock. That's why, by the way, all the major sports teams should be publicly traded companies so that we can invest in them and not just do betting for Las Vegas. Why not, spend money on their shares? In this case, I would absolutely short selling the Jets.
Yeah, definitely get a low price for sure, but the problem is it wouldn't increase. All right, so Jake, you and a lot of other people, including our viewers, aren't taking your eyes off gold prices. So let's talk about that. What's up with it?
Yeah, we're getting close to that magic number of $4,000 per an ounce of gold. We're at 3,800 and change, really close to 30. We're over 3,900 a little earlier this morning. I think we're going to get back over 3,900 in probably a couple of minutes. And that's a big number. David, you and I are old enough to remember 1979, when every single day the lead story in the news for several months was, will gold get to $1,000 an ounce? By the way, it never did in 1979. In fact, it took many, many more years before it hit the $1,000 mark. It was actually after the year 2000 when it finally hit that. Well, gold's going up because government spending isn't going down that much. It drives up the value of gold. You hear about it on this program all the time. But get ready for that 4,000 number. It's going to happen. I'm going to predict that. It's not a very courageous prediction, but I'm making that prediction. It will happen probably in the next couple of weeks.
I mean, gold is appreciated, obviously, throughout the years. So it makes me think about how home prices appreciate as well. Is gold similar in that sense? Or, I mean, in other words, it seems like a good investment, but there's more to it maybe than that. Or is gold just going to continue to go up the way you see it?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, gold is a different kind of investment. It's very often, it's kind of a doomsday investment. It's one of those things that you should have all the time just in case really bad things happen. But when spending goes up or doesn't get under control, it becomes a better investment. And so that's really the biggest reason why it's gone up. There's other reasons. It doesn't have much of an industrial use anymore. Gold used to be needed for a lot of industrial uses. Not only silver does, but not gold. So this is totally a hedge against things that are going, we know are happening. I don't see the spending stopping anytime soon. So to me, this is a good investment. It's just one of those things. Diversify. Don't have too much in one thing.
Right. More Democrats needed for gold to go up is basically what you're saying. Got it. Okay.
Something like that.
Something like that. All right, Jake, so we got Nike investors. They're whining, or they were whining about tariffs just a couple of months ago. But now the numbers are showing a different story entirely, especially, I guess, when you factor China into the mix. So talk about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting about Nike. They posted really good. They crushed profit expectations, last night when they came out with their quarterly report. They did really well in their profits, and they even increased in sales. And one of the funny things about it is that it's not the U.S. market that's giving them a problem with the tariffs. It's China. China, even with all the stuff, they're not tariffing Nike stuff that's made in Vietnam or made closer to them, and yet their sales there are weaker. So it really, again, obviously tariffs have an impact. I'm not saying they don't have an impact. But the way that people were guessing this, and a lot of people were really pounding the table about how Nike was going to suffer, boy, were they wrong. And you know what? Unlike me, there's no accountability for these people. Where are all those people who said Nike was going to take it on the chin? They're not willing to admit they're wrong, ever. It's really frustrating to me, but they were wrong.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the EV situation. The EV question of the day. I feel like you and EVs, you're a match made in, well, maybe not heaven, but something else. So we know that the tax credit for buying an EV expired yesterday. You say Ford, though, and GM have found a way to extend it for their customers. So explain this.
Yeah. EVs and I are like a match made in East St. Louis, Illinois. But no, just kidding. I'm not a fan of EVs. However, I am a fan of financial gymnastics when people are really smart and do something interesting. So Ford and GM knew that tax credit expired yesterday, the $7,500 federal tax credit. And they were worried about, boy, no one's going to want to buy any EVs anymore. So what did they do? They bought a lot of these EVs from their own dealers themselves. And now they will extend that savings on to people who lease these EVs from now on. That's pretty smart. I don't know if this is going to work for them as far as getting them bigger numbers, but it's a pretty smart thing to do, to take advantage of something on an expiring day when you've got a pile of cash that you can use. I like when people think smart and out of the box financially. Don't know if it'll work or not, but I applaud their effort.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Jake, great to have you as always. Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
My pleasure.
All right. By the way, he mentioned East St. Louis, which made me think of Gino loving St. Louis pizza, and also me thinking that she's totally dead wrong. New York pizza. Sorry, she's not here to defend herself. It's kind of a cheap shot. All right. Time for T in Denver. He's got the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
Oh, I like that. The little dollar signs that were kind of revealed there. All right, we're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. As you can see, the applause is underway at the podium, which means the bell is going to ring here in short order. And then we'll get an idea of where the markets stand. Neptune is at the podium. For those of you who are going to be investing, hopefully it is going to be a profitable day of investing. The markets are now officially open. You hear the bell. So let's take a quick look to see how the markets are looking. Not starting off on such a positive note. The Dow, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq are all in the red. Crude oil is also down. VIX, gold, and silver are up at the moment. So hopefully, if that's where you're investing in those precious metals, you'll have a pretty good day. But again, the market's not looking so hot at the current moment. So here's a question for you. Do you owe back taxes? Are your tax returns still unfiled? Did you forget to file for an extension? Well, the October 15th deadline is it's fast approaching, and time is, of course, running out. If you haven't gathered all of your documents, or if you've made any estimated payments, you could soon be targeted by the IRS. They can garnish your wages, they can freeze your bank accounts, or they can even seize your property. But there is help available. Tax Network USA, which is a nationwide tax firm, has helped taxpayers save over $1 billion in tax debt. In fact, they've filed hundreds of thousands of tax returns and assisted thousands of people in reducing their tax burden. They can help you as well. How, you ask? Well, don't wait. Just visit tnusa.com/RAV or call 800-905-8000 for a 100% free consultation. In one short phone call, the experts at Tax Network USA will guide you through some simple questions to determine how much you can save. Also, take action now before it's too late. Visit tnusa.com/RAV or call 800-905-8000. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some news you can use. We're talking about a new study that says the new weight loss drugs hitting the market may not just help you shed pounds, they may also help fight cancer. We've got the details ahead on American Sunrise.